going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to be starting in on getting these pan halves replaced on this 58 chassis that I have here. This is the one that I built the beam for. It's also going to get bagged in the rear, but I do have to replace the floors first because the floors are pretty not that bad, but they have a couple holes in them, and the guy wants a full restoration on his car. So we're going to be replacing the pan halves. We got Wolfsburg West pan halves here. So I'm going to get the old ones cut out, taken off fully, and then we'll get these new ones prepped and put on. So let's get to it. All right, so this is probably one of the easiest ways to get the pan halves off. All these spot welds are here. They're not the strongest. So sometimes what we can do is just take a hammer, beat up along the edge right here where they spot weld on, and they'll pop off. And then we just cut where the actual welds are, and then it should come off. So like I said, this is probably one of the easiest ways to do it. So just take a hammer and hit it right here. See? I don't know if you can see that well, but you can see a gap underneath there. Pop the spot welds off. So as you can see, it's not the hardest thing to do really to take them off. We'll just go through after and clean up all the areas where they were spot welded on. So just continue on doing that. All right, so now that I got all that knocked out, I'm actually gonna cut these welds right here. This one, and then on this side too. That one and that one. Take out these cross members right here because I'm gonna replace those also, just because the new ones just look so much cleaner. I don't want this lip that they sit on right here to be all bent up, so I'm gonna replace these. So I did measure where they sit from the Napoleon's hat out this way, so I have that marked down both sides. Like I said, the rest of it's all loose. I just cut it loose right here, and then hit this little piece out still. That's the only last piece that's holding on, and then this whole pan half is done as far as taking it off, and then I'll just do the same to the other side, and that's it. So it's pretty simple to do. So the whole process of removing these pan halves takes about 15-20 minutes or so for both sides. So it's not the hardest thing to do really. Like I said, some people will sit there and they'll drill out all the spot welds, which I mean it works, but you're talking about hours to remove. You know what I mean? Then you're sitting there chiseling away at underneath it, trying to pull it away. It's just too much. You know, I did it like that before until I realized we could just beat them out like this. So this is definitely the way to go for me. You guys could do it your way, really. I mean, but to me, this is the easiest way. So let me get this set back up. I'll cut those welds right there, and then get the new ones prepped to get welded in. So real quick, that's all it takes right there. Just cut it a little bit, beat it away, and that's that. All right, so I got it all off. Pretty simple, like I said. Just got to go through and grind down all these areas where the spot welds are. That's simple. We'll go through it with a grinder and get it all taken care of. Grind this down right here. Do the same to the other side. But I actually have to fix the tunnel on this car. Somebody had hacked it up, so fix that, get the rest of it all prepped, get rid of the welding. Okay, so I got everything all off. I got the lip all cleaned up. I got the welds all cleaned up for the rear cross member. Now all I got to do is weld that rear cross member in place. I have the actual paint cleaned off of it also. I have to just measure. I measure from the Napoleon's hat to the cross member. That's where I got my measurements written down from. So that way I know the body mounts are going to be in the same spot front to back. So I'm going to have that put on now. So I just take a couple more measurements just to make sure that it's exactly where it needs to go. And then I'll tack it in place, measure it again, and then I will fully weld it from there if it's ready to go. So let me get to that. All right, so it's in place. Now I just gotta get it welded in. So I'm gonna drill a couple spot welds right here so it welds to the part that's on the pan right there, and then that should be good to go. So let me get set up and then I'll weld it all up. All right, so that's in place. That's actually on the dot where it needs to be. So that's done. I just need to do these bottom corner down here so I'm just gonna drill a couple spot welds, drill a couple holes so I can put a couple spot welds on it, and then I will start test fitting the actual pan halves. All right, so this is the initial test fit of the pan halves. I got that rear cross member fully welded in now. So it fit pretty well for the first time. I just had to do this little corner right here, bend it out, and then also bend out that little corner right there, just so it can slide in all the way. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put on the jig that I built for this thing. So I just wanna make sure that these body bolts all line up properly. If they do, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark out where I'm gonna punch all the holes out. That way I can spot weld all the holes. So like I said, what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get my jig set up and then make sure it all lines up, and then we'll go from there. All right, got those holes punched out exactly every 2 inches. Marked it out before I popped them all out. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna clean up this. I'm gonna clean up around every hole just so the weld can penetrate properly, and then set them on the pan again. So I have the jig set up here. I'm gonna set them up on the pan again, make sure the body bolts line up. If they do, then I can start in on burning in the pan half itself. So I can do this side fully. I can prep this side also. I just got to do the, like I said, the tunnel before I weld in this side. So I'm just going to get this side fully done right here, and then we will go from there. All right, so I got all of the holes punched out on the pan half. I got all of the holes cleaned up so I can weld on them. So it's back in. Now I got the jig back on it. It's clamped in the rear, and all the holes line up perfectly now. So what's next is I like to take a drill bit, and on every hole that I punched out, I like to dimple the pan lip itself. That way it penetrates into the lip of the tunnel. That way it doesn't ever pop off or anything like that. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm gonna put a couple tacks here in the front. That way it doesn't move. I'm gonna go put one tack in the rear so it doesn't move, it doesn't shift or anything like that. That way I can take this jig off and get all of them done without having to reach over between the jigs. So like I said, I'm gonna tack in a few places right now, and then I will take it off and go from there. Continue on. So let me get that done. All right, so I got a couple tacks here. Plug welded that one, plug welded that one, and I plug welded the one back here. So that way it doesn't shift on me anymore. So now I'm gonna take this jig off, set back up the camera, and start working on getting all of the holes welded. So like I said, all those have to be done all the way down. So let me get it off and then we'll continue on. All right, so I got the jig back off. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm actually gonna weld the full front right here, fully. And then I can go through the whole pan, start plug welding every single hole that I punched. So I like to snip the wire before I start each plug weld. That way it doesn't like skip and it arcs like right away. It doesn't get the tip dirty and jump. So I like to get an arc right away. So let me get set back up with the welder, and then I'll start welding it all up. right, they're all burned in. Got that all welded. Got it plug welded every 2 inches all the way down. I just gotta get this back corner left right here, but I have to kind of let it finesse it, sit flush again, and all right there. So like I said, it's all burned in, looks good. So I'll get that corner done and then just grind it down, and this side is completely done. So I've been trying to figure out how I can fix this part right here. I have the piece somebody gave to me. So I got a straight line marked all the way around. I drilled these spot welds out right here. So I'm just gonna cut it out, get the measurements, and cut the other piece that I was given to fit in here. And then I'm hoping that it lines up pretty well so I can just weld it, grind it smooth, and move on. So let's see how it goes. All right, so I got it all cut out. Looks like it's gonna come out pretty clean. I got the piece right here. So I gotta cut this bottom lip off. Also, I gotta trim it a little bit more to size because it doesn't fit quite yet. So, but I got the rough measurements down on it. So it's coming along. So like I said, let me try to get the rest of this thing all fitted. Try to get it lined up good. Then I'll use my magnets, hold it in place while I tack it up, and then fully weld it, grind it smooth so I can get this pan halve on, because like I said, the other one's all done. I just got to do this, and that's that. I can move on from that. I got the beam built, which is on the other video. If you guys haven't checked that out, go check it out. After this, I'm going to do the rear bag kit. So like I said, got to get this done so I can move on. All right, so I got this piece all in, sitting nice and flush. So all I'm going to do now is just go around it, weld it all up so I can grind it smooth, so I can continue on with the rest of the pan half replacement.
It looks like you lost another one.
It's all patched. Just gotta grind it all down smooth. It's all good to go. Looks good. Now I can continue on this side. That was one thing I was just trying to get past, man. I wasn't looking forward to doing that repair, but had to get done. So now I can move on. All right, I got the whole thing all prepped up. Got that ground smooth. I got the holes punched on this right here, the lip cleaned up. So now I'm just gonna set up my welder and get this side all welded in so I can start grinding off all the spot welds. All right, got it all burned in all the way around. Everything's all done, solid. Left and right side. Got that fixed right there. Came out nice. So now I'm gonna do is just grind away all the welds so it looks smooth, and then it's off to do the rear bag kit. Once that's done, I can send the pan off to powder coat. there it is. All done. So I'll ground down all of the welds. Nice and smooth all the way around. Both sides. I leave this one right here. I leave that one right there. And then I leave these right here. But other than that, it's all grounded down. All right, so that's gonna do it for us today. So I did get everything all done today. So the pans are fully done, ready to go. So they're all ground down. Everything's all done. I just got to do the bags on the rear of it now. Then I could send this pan off to powder coat. But in total, it took me about two days to actually do the pan. 3 days if you consider me going to build a jig at my friend's shop. So like I said, 2 days it took me to do this whole pan. So I did the knocking out of the pan halves. I did the cross members, I did cleaning, and then one side that took me about 1 day. The other day took me to repair the tunnel, do the other side, and do all the grounding of all the welds. So like I said, that's probably about roughly what it took me 2 days. So if you like this video, go ahead and like the video. Comment if you have any questions or anything like that. Subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the bell notification so that way you get a notification when I do upload a new video, because the rear bagging of this thing is going to be coming soon.